Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Catfish Weekly, along with Lyle Stokes and Chad Fields. I'm Josh, the Weekend Angler. And guys, we're going to be talking about channel catfish tonight. And I guess the redheaded stepchild of the catfish family, we could say.
Keep it up.
Yeah. This might be a bad idea.
Keep it
up. Oh, wow. Now, we're going to be talking. Channel cats get a bad rap. Channel cats get made fun of a lot. People don't like to catch them, but they're fun to catch.
And they're good to eat.
There's
abundance of them.
And pound for pound, I'll put a channel cat up against a blue any day of the week, twice on Sunday. So.
Yep, absolutely. I have to agree with that. They're fighters. They're prolific breeders, so you're not ever going to run out of them. And they eat really well. You just got to trim them, but like any other fish. But they do have what I call a fat ring. It's yellowish stuff. But if you get rid of that and the red meat, they're great table fare. And like I say, you're never going to run out of them.
Oh, no. They're
at least not in our area. So, Chad, or why don't you welcome everybody into the show tonight?
Whatever you all want from the redheaded stepchild.
Now, nobody mentioned you in that comment.
There was some direct angling towards myself with that comment.
That's because you're trying to cheat at rock, paper, scissors.
You don't know how to bring and play rock, paper, scissors is all I've got to say. I mean, you are a little slow, but that was just extra slow reaction.
There's a delay in your internet.
I have 5G, thank you. Let's get it started. I've seen we got Catfish in Fresno, Mr. Minnow Dunkers, John Boy's Catfishing, Matt Calder, Christina Dunnigan, who wants to know why you are in a suit.
I was not my choosing. That will be fixed by next week.
We got Cat Life Outdoors, Jason Lamb, QC Fishing. What's up, Brian? We got my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, awesome wife, Dee. She brought me a Reese cup and a Mountain Dew today. Lyle, just letting you know that at work.
I have Mountain Dew right here beside me. 2 liters.
Yeah. We got John Patrick Jr., Carolina Catfish, LG Bass, Uncle Jeeps made it in tonight. What's going on, buddy? Creole Catfishing. Freddy's Outdoor Adventures. I will be looking for a new host on Thursday night. My buddy, Mr. Maurice Cason. Got James Dockery Fishing, who's giving everybody a warning. Lyle and Josh are both in bad moods tonight, so be careful what you say to them.
That is not true.
I thought I was in pretty good mood.
Yeah.
Fishing with the Squirrel, Doug Kale. Scroll down here a good bit. Mr. Tim Molina, Lance McCoo guy, Ricky from Whisker Jeans. Can't remember, I think he was at the beginning, but John Boy's Catfishing. Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors, Matt from Wannabe Outdoors, Sean Abney. Rebecca and Jamie's made it in tonight. Ghost of the Woods. Good evening. Make sure I skip over Freddie from now on. Mr. Dave Funk.
Always good.
Big Slim 91. Danny Stone Outdoors. Mark from Catfish and Crappie, who will not have a show tonight because he doesn't know how to use his phone because it's an iPhone and his computer is down or something. I don't know.
Here we go.
Too many orders from Ball Deep Tackle is what I heard. We got Tim, Donna, AJH. What's happening? Mr. Parker Pursuits. Fishing in the Mid-South. And I am to the bottom. Oh, pumping my green well.
Yeah, you
forget
can't
him.
miss Mikey.
Nope.
You got Keith from Northwest Pennsylvania fishing.
And Lyle, just on your behalf, because he told you that you were wrong. Oh, I can't time him out. Never mind. There he goes.
Well,
Now I
I'm
can.
not so sure about that.
I want him to plus a comment that he sent me into another chat earlier. I need to sit for him to sit and think about the error of his ways. We'll see you in 5 minutes, Mark. Okay, the redheaded stepchild has spoken, gentlemen.
On Mark's behalf, I have to say that for my entire life, I thought that, well, I still consider flatheads the king of the catfish. And I thought they was the hardest fighting of all. I have caught some giant blues that fought really hard in heavy current, but I've never caught a catfish that fought as hard as them big channel cats do on Mendota Lake. And that's just a fact. We've been to the Red River and we caught some great fish up there, and they fought hard, but there's not a lot of current in that river. It's like fishing in a little bit more than fishing a lake. And I understand that if you go up to Selkirk, Manitoba, and get into the giant ones that's up there, that they fight pretty hard because it's heavier current below that dam. But I've never had anything pound for pound fight as hard as them Mendota channel cat. That's why we go every year.
There's some awesome fish up there.
But there is something about a flathead when you catch a good one that there's nothing like it. And that's why I consider them the king of cats. And they're the best eaten, in my opinion. But you got to eat them when they're small. You can't. I just can't kill one of them of any size, unless it would happen to be hooked deep. I might be able to do one if I didn't think it was going to survive. But other than that, 4 or 5 pounders, there are some really good eating. But you get a channel cat that's that size, they're awesome eating too. Absolutely.
What we were talking, kind of bringing this up is, really what I've heard a couple of different conversations. There was one today, and I heard one the other day about why people get frustrated about catching channel cats. And I think, like what you was just saying, one of the biggest.
Wow.
What happened?
That was a sneak attack. That was pretty good.
That was.
What happened? I missed it.
That was impressive. Somebody who may have been timed out in chat snuck in the backstage to kick Chad out.
It was.
Is it someone that has access?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you now.
That was some Black Ops kind of stuff going on there. So that was impressive.
It is impressive.
But anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted. But I think one of the biggest things is that I've taken from the conversations that most of the time when people are going out, they're targeting the big blues and the big flatheads. They're looking for those type of. They're wanting that trophy fish, not understanding that sometimes that channel cat, going for the channel cats, to me, it's a trophy in itself. One, you can catch a lot of fish numbers wise. But if you find the right areas where channel cats are, you can hook some amazing fish that fight you more than any other catfish out there. Because they, like you said it before, they fight you on the way to the boat, in the boat, and on the way back out of the boat. They don't stop.
Oh, wow.
Uncle Jeep, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I have caught some really nice blue cats and nice flatheads over the years. And I caught a great channel cat. It just shy of 30 pounds. Yeah. But I am not going to be satisfied until I get over 30. I just not. I'm happy with the flatheads and the blues I've caught over the years. They're not 100-pounders by no means. and that's okay with me. They was good fish when we caught them, and I was happy to have them. But 30-pound channel cat, I can't stop till I get one. There's just something about that number, and maybe it's because it's almost unobtainable, but it is obtainable. I have noticed though, there wasn't near as many caught the last couple of years, the over 25s. And I wonder if people are starting to keep a few of them and eat them, because they didn't used to. Up there, they consider them trash fish, which I don't get, but whatever. It just makes it that much better for the rest of them.
They're very close to Chicago, and not to get political and stuff, but we know how Mark is. We'll call them finesse fishermen.
Those are some great fighting fish.
Oh, definitely.
They're shallow water, and they're fun.
I mean, those fish up there, even with like a regular medium heavy rod, have a heck of a fight. But when but when you go up there, or if lakes around here, like Josh has got some really good channel cat waters down there with Crab Orchard and stuff like that, and you find those 10 to 15 pounders even. That's a really big channel cat in most areas.
And that was something that it took a while for me to get used to, really, because we've grown up fishing Crab Orchard. A 10-pound channel cat is common in Crab Orchard.
It's a giant channel cat.
You're going to catch more 10-pound channel cats out of Crab Orchard than you are 3 to 5 pound. If you're fishing, as long as you're fishing with shad, using something, cut bait, you're going to catch sizable channel cats. And then people are like, "Man, that's a massive channel." No, we've caught bigger. It wasn't until we really started fishing on the rivers and saw some of the channels that we get out of the river are nowhere near as big as what grows in the lake. There's something different about a lake channel cat. If they have the run of that lake, they're going to get huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think, like I said though, I mean, if you target your gear to it as well, and don't go out there with like, heavy action or extra heavy or even medium. You go with like medium or medium light or light tackle, dude. Man, those fights are amazing.
We've had some out there on crab that will they'll put the torture to your blue cat gear.
They will.
We've had them over 20. We usually catch a few over 20 every year out of Crab Orchard.
Man, that's great channel cats.
And they're big and they're mean and
they fight hard.
And they fight.
Mark with Wheel of Rights Fishing has joined us in chat, and I would like to let everyone know that Mark has went back from his fishing until Fishing Do Us Part channel back to the Bill of Rights Fishing channel. So make sure that you go check him out. He's got a bunch of great videos. He's a super nice guy. And for whatever reason, he's went back to the Bill of Rights channel. So be sure to check him out. If you're not subscribed to him, please do so, because you'll be so happy to see the videos that he put out. Very high quality. He catches a lot of great fish. And Jody has made it in. Michael Murillo, 30-pound channel cat trophy you want. Top 5 locations. Mendota Lake. Below the Selkirk Dam in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The Red River around Grand Forks. That's 3. There's a lake in Kansas. I'm trying to think of the name of. I can't right offhand. That has got some giant channel cat in it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about on that one.
For some reason, it eludes me. And there's a place in California that my buddy that lives out there catches giant channel cat. They catch a lot of upper 20s and low 30s ones, and that would be the other one. Now, that doesn't by no means mean that there's not other great places to catch, like the place Josh was talking about out at Crab Orchard. Yeah. I would love to fish that sometime. But those would be bucket list places for me. I've been to Grand Forks and fished up there. It was really amazing, but we caught bigger ones at Mendota. I've not been to Selkirk. I want to go because you can go up there for 3 or 4 days and catch 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of channel cat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. But for me to go, realistically, at my age, I would have to go with a group of guys that are going with 2 or 3 different boats and make sure that everybody was on the same page of what was going to, when they was going to be there, how they was going to do it. I couldn't just go up there with Cindy and I and take a chance on something going wrong and not have people around to help us out that you don't know. So that's the way it would be. But love to do that sometime. There's a lake in Nebraska that's got great channel cat in it too, and for some reason I can't remember those names. But those are the places that would be on my bucket list.
Calamus Lake.
Yeah, Calamus that's one of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Calamus has got great channel cat in it, and like I say, if you ever go to a place that's got giant channel cat in it, you'll change your mind about a lot of these other fish. I promise you, you will, because they fight so hard. And, you know, it's we never spend a whole day out there fishing for them. We're in. And
oh, well.
Pardon me?
It was wild this year up at Mendota, dragging baits in those in that super shallow water. I mean, we're dragging baits in 3 or 4 foot of water.
Right.
And we started noticing that you would hear the splash where those fish were coming up and grabbing that bait and jumping out of the water with it and coming back down. You'd see and hear that splash before your rod would ever go down.
Yes.
They were attacking it like sharks. It was wild.
Yeah, it is awesome to just be sitting there looking out at your planer boards and stuff and see a fish tail walk across the water, and then about 2 seconds later you see the rod just slam down up there. I thought there was a place up in New York or somewhere up that way, Lyle, that had really good channel cats too.
There is. I'm just not as familiar with it.
I was trying to look it up and I can't find it.
But there's a great place up there that's got them. There's several places out east that has great channel cat. You just don't hear very much about it because they have out there. They got out east. There is such great blue cat fishing, and they want to eradicate it. That it has the blues and the flatheads because they didn't used to have them. Those conservation departments are. Natural resources departments, whatever they are that they have in those states, they took those fish out there years ago. Now they're a natural part of their habitat. If you didn't want them, you should have never took them out there because it's wrong to try to eradicate them now. It's just wrong.
Yeah, this is the other one that I was going to mention was Sandusky Bay.
So that's another great place. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I would go up there in a heartbeat with the right people. But like I say, places like that are strange to you when you get to be the shape that we're in at our age. You want to go with.
Wait. Our age?
Cindy and I, not you.
Oh, okay.
Cindy is young and a saint. Thank you very much.
I got that, but still, he has to go with me.
Okay.
I'm not letting her share our information with you.
That time again.
Hey, Evan, how's it going? But yeah, you know, it's just easier when you go with a group, you know, like we do when we go to Mendota. A bunch of us go together. If somebody has a problem, everybody's right there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go to Sandusky Bay, it would be so much better if you knew that there was going to be 2 or 3 other boats of people up there. It's just easier,
and it's more fun.
It is. It's not that when you get up there, the bunch of people wouldn't come by to visit with you. But if you need help, are they at work? Are they at church? Are they? You know, you don't know. If you go up there to fish, you're going to be in that water. You're going to be fishing. So a phone call will get you help if you need it.
You're not wrong. And I got to go bring that back up and talk about the community and stuff like that. You know, catfishing in general, knowing people through tournaments and Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. And exactly what you said, when you get in trouble, I've noticed that not just in myself, but with other people. You know, Hagen and them was out in a storm a long while ago. You know, I think it was last year or year before. And people, come together like very quickly to try to help people out. You know, I love that, man. It's it's really nice to have those lifelines to be able to have people to jump in and help you out when you need it.
That's correct. And that's what I'm saying. It's just so much easier to make that happen. I have to send some emojis to someone.
Whatever, Danny.
Oh, Danny.
I'm missing that, I guess. I had to send some emojis to someone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for send me pictures of that kind of candy when he knows I can't have it.
Oh, I sent him a reply to that too.
Let me see what Danny said.
You don't need to see what Danny said. Let's talk about channel cats.
Okay, let's do that.
I ain't giving Danny time of day right now. He's on the same list as Brady's Outdoor Adventures.
Oh, you made it to the big time.
So you're telling me Danny is not going to be co-hosting the bait shop this Thursday?
Danny is probably not going to be hosting the bait shop this Friday. It's Thursday night.
Thursday. Okay. Oh no.
I don't even know where I was going with channel cat conversation now. The show's about channel cats, y'all.
That's exactly right. Oh, QC fishing, Brian. It is very much true. The places that we used to walk down, James Dockery. I went up to visit James and Katie here a while back, and he was showing me places that he fishes, and one place was just huge boulders around the end of a lake, and he climbs them rocks and goes over. Of course, he's a little bit of a thing. He's only about 4'6", and he crawls over there and gets over there and he goes fishing, and then he drags his fish back because he's catching crappie most of the time. He brings them back across there when he's done. And he said, we go over here and go fishing. He said, I don't think you can get over and back. I said, no, damn well can't. I can't crawl over them rocks like you do. I'm not a kid anymore.
I would have paid for video.
It's, I'm sure that he catches the fire out of there because I've seen the fish, but it's just not feasible for me. And maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it once. Maybe I can do it twice. But what about that third time or fourth time? At some point, it's going to catch up with you. So it could happen the first time. So I just say, screw it. I ain't going,
You're right. At his age, he's probably going to need help before long. So.
James, yeah, I think so. I think so, too. But I know it's an awesome place to fish. And there is a boat ramp there, but it's not useful, so it does no good to take a boat in there.
I agree, D.
Oh my God. We are not even halfway through the show. Reel it in, fellas. Channel cats. Oh!
Yeah, we had to.
But in our area where I live, and Josh and Chad, for the most part, I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. If you catch a 10 to 20 pound channel cat in any of the places that we usually fish, that's a great catch.
That's a good fish.
I've been to in times when it's a lot easier to catch a 15 pound channel cat than it was one under 10. Now, the last time we was up there, it wasn't that way, but usually before then, it always was. So if you go out and you're catching catfish, you can be fishing for blue cat. And if you catch a 10 pound or 12 pound channel cat, that's a great fish. And you're just about as likely to catch a bunch of 5, 6, 7 pounders. And if you want eating fish, them's the ones, man.
Oh,
them's the ones.
Yeah, I like those.
Just out, 1 to 3 is even better.
3 to 5 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
That's a good.
They're great to eat, and there's an abundance of them. And next year they'll be the same amount. That's just the way it is.
That's why, like, if we're having a fish fry, I'll either go to Baldwin or I'll go to Rend Lake. Rend Lake is 20 minutes for me.
You could feed the U.S. with
Baldwin.
Yeah.
But as far as Rend is full of channel cats like Baldwin is with those small blues.
Oh, wow.
We can go up there. There's no limit on them. We'll take them out. They're 3 to 5 pound. We might take a dozen of them out, and you're not hurting the population in that lake because they are so prolific breeders.
That's right.
And it's just all around good eating fish and fun to catch. And I put that up there for
one.
from John Boys said would.
For me, it's going to be shad. I'm not much of a bluegill guy anymore. I've used a lot of it, but I'm more of a shad, especially in the wintertime.
Wintertime shad's probably the best, but
Shad
I'll
is
use
a
bluegill
good.
if I could get them.
I'll even if I'm fishing the river in the wintertime, I switch from skips or moon eyes over to shad.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're
right. That's what they're
feeding on, and
yeah.
I will always have skipjack, at least one skipjack to use with me, but I will primarily change over to shad for the majority of the wintertime.
And for blues too.
Oh, Maurice, really?
What do you say?
Chicken and bacon is the best wintertime bait.
Not using bacon. I eat that myself.
Come on, Maurice.
I think
there it is. I knew that would be in there. Leopard frogs.
Leopard frogs.
Leopard frogs.
But you got to step on them.
You got to squish them out. Yeah.
You got to squish them.
I agree. But they do work really well. They work really well in the fall for sure. I never used one in the winter because I never did find them. But yeah, I'm with you, Brian. I'm not giving up no bacon either.
No, I'm keeping my bacon.
Not happening.
But I think
I've not had a whole lot of, the only place that we have luck with bluegill for channel cats is Mendota.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love going up there. That's my favorite place to fish for catfish or for channel cats. And as long as we're able to make the trip, we'll probably keep going.
And we have caught quite a few of them here not too long ago. A couple months ago, we were catching them on live bluegill, catching some nice. I think Christina had a 14 or 15 pound channel cat one night. She and I went out and just had some time to kill and bank fishing. And, it's nice. You can go out there. We could drive 10, 15 minutes. We're at the lake, and a 14, 15 pound channel cat in 2 or 3 feet of water, he's going to give you a good fight.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be fun.
One of the things, what about mice? I heard someone say they was going to try it for bait, but I'm sure they'll work.
I have thought about that for a long time, but I've never tried it.
I've caught one out of farm pond with it. Just threw it out there weightless.
They work. It's got to work.
Got to work. Baby birds.
That's why chicken works so good. Baby birds.
There you go. I knew there had to be a reason.
Has to be the only reason I can think of.
Yep. And that leads us into tips for farm pond channels. They're extremely picky. That's where your mice and stuff like that will work really well.
Stink bait.
And the
liver.
Thing is,
chicken liver.
I know. We get in there with that liver and stink bait and all that. I think that's where channel cats get the bad rap.
Yeah,
everybody uses stink bait and treble hooks and little rotten shrimp and everything, and they catch the little bitty fiddler channel cats and go, that's all they got in here.
Well, I think with that, and when you're tournament fishing or something like that, and when you're sitting there getting, your rods are getting just tap, 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 and you think it's all these little channel cats, which, somebody put a great thought in my head that it's probably not those at all. It could be some of them little fingerlings and stuff like that nibbling at your bait, but stuff like saugai and sauger and other stuff is down there just eating away that meat, not just catfish. You always assume it's the catfish that's just the wrong size, but it's not.
Channel cats are ornery because of their medulla oblongata. Cody, channel cats are ornery because they have all them teeth and no toothbrush.
I'm gonna jump out here right quick. I just noticed something. In our chat tonight, we have one of the great channel cat fishermen in chat tonight. And a lot of people don't know it. They think of Lee Reed as Uncle Lou. Well, Lee Reed is a great channel cat fisherman. He fishes the Missouri River. He catches blues. He catches channels. He catches flatheads. But he's a great channel cat fisherman. Welcome to chat, Lee.
Trying to see what we...
But
welcome, Uncle Lou. You're my boy, Blue. He does make some medium light poles. It'd be great to fight those channel cats. I'm just saying.
Welcome to Cody from 3+1 also. LG Bass. Fishing with Squirrel. Crappie day fish on.
I think Uncle Luke should jump up here with us and talk about it.
Maybe so. You can send him
Yeah.
a link. Lance McCoo guy.
He'd have to put pants on.
Chloe. Buck Williams. I hope I haven't missed anybody. There's a bunch of them joining.
You wouldn't necessarily have to, Chad. Everybody thinks I'm shirtless tonight because I wore this tan shirt. So
I just figured you took that suit off and I was like, done. I'm going shirtless.
Yeah, there we go. We go from one extreme to the other. So
There's
That's
Matt.
right.
I want to be outdoors.
But I think people should locate better.
Ghost of the Woods, welcome. Says he's new here.
Hey, glad to have you in chat.
Thank you. Thank you
Don't
for
be
joining
a
us.
stranger. We love
Glad to have you.
back.
Because for the longest time, other than the river, where we only typically catch those 1 to 5 pound channel cats, okay, we do catch some, a few here and there that are bigger and stuff. I think finding the lakes around you that have them in it, because there are some lakes that I never even knew had them in that were within an hour or so of my house. And unfortunately, a lot of times I got to go to the wrong side of the river over to Ohio to catch them. But there's some actually really good channel catfish lakes. I know at least 3 or 4 of them now within an hour to 2 hours of my house.
I know a lot of guys say that out east, a lot of the lakes out there have the channel cat have been caught out. The big channel cat have been caught out, but they still have them. So if a little bit of work and some regulations on size, you could probably restore that a lot. But that's with any of them and any of the places that we go. We have to get regulations put in so that the fish can flourish, no matter what breed of fish it is. Hi, Mike. Glad to see you in here. But if you want bigger channel cats, work with your DNR or whoever to get regulations put into effect where you can get some bigger ones. It's just that simple.
Well, see, that's kind of the problem I have. And what those fisheries that I'm talking about right now in Ohio, Ohio is starting a program like every year they are, they're going to start stocking blue cats in these lakes. And that's just going to ruin the channel.
Oh, yeah.
Big channels. We went up to Rocky Fork, a few months ago in September for the Ohio meet and greet. And there was quite a few mid-teens and even, 20 or low 20s caught out of that lake. And there's a lot of those 20s in there. They're not a huge amount, but there's a good amount. And that's primarily what it is, other than there's a good flathead fishery as well. But they're going to throw these blue cats in it.
Flatheads and blues will eat channel cat until they get too big they can't handle them.
Yeah. And then,
they'll eat each other. Blues will eat each other. They're just eating machines.
They just recently did that to a lake around here. They did that to Carlisle Lake. Carlisle has been known as a very good channel cat fishery. And they have started stocking blues in it now. And they've stocking them by the thousands.
That can hurt or help you. Just depends on what it is.
I guess time will tell what it's going to end up doing to that fishery, but at least the channel cats are good and established in there right now. But
I would say that's one thing that those lakes have going for them for at least for a while is the amount of crappie and the amount of shad in those lakes are pretty abundant. So hopefully, that slows down from hurting the channel cat population. But like you said, the blues will be small.
Parker's right about that. Carlisle will produce some giant blues. That lake's a impoundment of the Kaskaskia River. I think the Illinois state record flathead actually came out not too far below Carlisle Dam. So
I'll tell you what it's known for in my mind is the great numbers of shad it's got. Holy crap.
Go up around Keysport and throw the net a few times. You're good to go for a long while.
You can't hardly drag it in. And below that dam where you're not supposed to go, they got a little old sign that's all grown up around. You can't see it. It says no casting for shad.
Within 1,000 yards of the dam.
Yeah, it was too late. There's 3 or 4 of us who went in there. Couldn't believe how many shad we caught, but had to throw them back.
Wow.
Had to throw them back. But we had them. That's a fun lake to fish. It really is.
Wow, Brian, I can't pronounce that. Womp, womp. Whoops, and they get it in there on.
Yeah.
And
Whoops.
River holds nice channel cats.
Whoops a Penticon. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt it. That's something Docker had come up with just to make us all try to say it.
Probably.
He said, they've been stocking fingerlings in Hoover Reservoir up in Ohio since 2021. Got its first 50-pounder last week.
Nice. Congrats, Dave.
Yeah. That is a great, from what I understand, I've never been there, but I understand that is one of the great places in that area to catch channel cat.
Yeah.
Ghost of the Woods, are you fairly local to me then? If you're familiar with Carlisle, or have you just fished it before?
I would just I'd love to see them keep some of these lakes like that. They're like, you talk about Rend and Egypt and those lakes down there. Keep some of them the way they are.
Yeah.
Just because.
I tell you what, there are some massive. Oh, gotcha. Thanks. There's some massive channel cats in Lake of Egypt. If a guy could ever figure them out in that lake, that's the truth, Brian. If a guy could ever figure out those channel cat in Egypt, you could have a good time with them. We always tend to catch them when we're bass fishing. We'll catch them on a crankbait or catch them on a soft plastic or something, and then you're handling those things on bass gear, so it's an awesome fight.
There's our buddy Mark with Whisker Pig Fishing. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, please do so. He's got some awesome videos out. One of my favorite channels to watch. I watch him every time he comes out with a new one, and you guys should too. Parker said below Carlisle in February, good walleye fishing below the spillway. Maybe that's Mark. Mark's been wanting to catch some walleye. That might be a spot for him to go try. Sounds like Jerry could probably show him how to do that.
Makes sense now, Josh?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Sorry, Josh and I were having another side conversation.
Yeah, we're sidebar over here.
Yeah.
Sending stuff. Uncle Jeep said, yeah, I don't bass fish that often anymore. Every once in a while I do.
Hey, don't ever underestimate Josh's ditch pickling ability.
Hey, I'm not telling you I don't like to do it. I'm telling you that my arms don't like it when I do it anymore. I could bass fish if I get fingers going numb, and it's like, no, we ain't doing this.
40 was rough on us, wasn't it, buddy?
Oh, it sucks to get old, don't it?
Oh. Sorry.
No idea.
Let's talk a little bit more about the channel cats, like favorite techniques and stuff like that for catching channel cats. We talked a little bit about bait. You talked about shrimp and people making them out to be the trash fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fishing for them. I know Lyle had the new favorite technique.
I do. Now, as far as bait, in my opinion, of course, when we're going up in the spring, May, bluegill is what works. It really is. But we're fishing in very shallow water. What's that?
The suckers work pretty well.
Yeah,
too.
suckers are great bait for any kind of catfish. But channel cat, it is in most places, sucker are a natural bait, a natural forage for them, because they're everywhere pretty much. But I like fishing for channel cats. My new favorite way to catch them is underneath a bobber. It has become my new favorite way, and the reason is we're fishing up there. We're fishing in 1.5 to 3 foot of water most of the time. And it's hard to keep that bait out of the mud and silt and stuff in that lake.
Oh, yeah.
And if I can keep it just above there, you can't keep the fish off of it. I mean, you just can't. Mm-hmm. And the bobbers work really well. And you can also just let the wind blow them around if you want to, but I try not to. What I try to do is drop shot them where the lead hits the bottom and holds them where I cast them, and then the bait's up about this far off the bottom. Works for me. And,
About half a dockery length
yeah.
above.
Yeah.
And no dock roofs.
No dock roofs.
Yeah.
He got on to me my last video I posted the other day. I mentioned him in a video.
A Christmas song with James.
I do remember that.
He sent me a bunch of angry faces. So
I have a Christmas song with James Dockery.
we do have a Christmas song with James Dockery.
That's one of my things. One time that I do like to use bluegill is when I'm actually just targeting channel cats. Like Uncle Lou just put in there, shad guts and cold water.
Oh yeah,
shad is definitely probably my number 2 bait for just channel cats, depending on the water. But I like some of the lakes around here where there actually is a good shad population. I think both of them work pretty equally, but
yeah,
during the summertime and then the warmer, bluegill seem to work pretty well. Cold water, I've always loved shad for just about any kind of catfish. So
Kevin Baker, welcome. I would like to mention right now, today, I seen a picture on the internet of fish number 5,000 for James Dockery this year.
Wow.
Now, we give old James a bunch of stuff. Not that he don't deserve every bit of it and more, but in 1 year, and we still got a month and a half left to catch 5,000 fish, multi-species, not just one kind. That's catfish and crappie and bluegill and
silver cats and
perch and Asian carp. 5,000 in 1 year. That's a huge.
That's really awesome. That is
It is, and I'm very proud of him for doing that. He done a great job with that, and it's just a big number, and for anybody to do that, and he had some time this year where he was down, where he couldn't get out and go because of his feet, and well, let's face it, his mouth was all swelled up because Katie whacked him a couple times, but he had some health issues where he wasn't able to go some of the time, but 5,000, that's a big number, and congratulations, James, on that. Drift blood super slow, yeah. It'll coagulate, and you just kind of put your hook in the middle of it and toss it over the side.
I wanted to point out the fact that I've caught 5,001 fish.
Have you?
I just don't brag about it like James Dockery does all the time.
Well, congratulations to you two.
Good job, Chad.
Most of them I bought though from I think it was like 4,000 skipjack bought.
Was they this year?
If you bought 4,000 skipjack, you got some money.
Yeah, no kidding. Was any of them?
I got a dealer.
Was any of them in fish stick form?
Yeah,
yeah, those are good.
I made a lot of long John Silvers and Captain D's.
I love
that counts as well.
I love their fish. It's really good.
No, I'd say we're pretty fortunate. We've got some good channel cat fisheries around right here local, and those lakes have a very good supply of shad, which I think has helped push them into being such a good fishery. I mean, we can go out and catch 12, 13, 14-inch shad pretty regularly in the net. And
I forgot drum. Mark corrected me on that.
Well, that's why I said silver cat. Wow.
Oh man.
Oh wow! I lost control of Tacticat yesterday, and we have lost control of Catfish Weekly this evening. I think I found the common denominator. It's me. So, oh well.
Even Maurice has got it on it.
Maurice is redeeming himself for talking about using bacon as bait. So
I guess that's probably right.
He gets a pass on this one. So,
Yeah, I couldn't use bacon for bait. I like it too well.
But no, we've ended up. I still like to anchor. I still like to anchor with a Carolina rig for channel cats.
Oh,
Fish
yeah.
shallow
Yeah.
cover.
Do
Say it, Josh.
I love fishing shallow cover.
Come on, Josh.
If I'm on a lake, I
Come
like
on, Josh.
to drag those mud flats. That's where I draw the line at it. I still have not dragged in the river in a few years and don't plan to start.
Do you,
But,
when you're anchored up, do you use a float to suspend your bait up off of the bottom?
Usually not. I'll usually just where we're fishing. It's if I'm anchored up, a lot of spots that I anchor up are real rocky, so I don't have to worry about a whole lot of silt. I'll anchor up and then just toss a regular old Carolina rig out there, and that's pretty much all we need to do. I've put floats on, like made a Santee rig a few times, and there's been times that it's worked. There's been times that I think it's hurt me more than it's helped me. So
I have found, you go to Walmart and you buy these 2.5, 3-inch torpedo looking floats.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't float that much weight on bait up. They will small amounts. So I've got the, if I'm not using Demon Dragons or a Demon Dragon wannabe, however you want to call them, I've got every brand known to man of them. But my favorite thing for actually getting the bait off the bottom is a 2.5-inch peg float, one of the big round ovals.
The big ovals. Yeah.
And you just put more weight to hold your line down, and them things will hold up a great amount of bait weight. So if you want to use a 2.5 or 3-inch square piece of bait, it's not an issue. With them others, it kind of is. But if you just want to use a little one, you want to scoot it back about that far away from there, and then it just dangle out there. It moves around, gets that scent out there, and that's what you're after. But you have to use a little heavier weight to keep it down on the bottom. But that's my thing to use if I'm Carolina rigging.
I am going to say drag those baits.
I love dragging baits. If it's in water, I can do that. John Parker, welcome.
A lot of the places we're going to end up being like targeting. Remember, we're talking about channel cats.
Channel cats.
I mean, there are obviously there's channel cats in the rivers, but a lot of it's channel cat lakes. Right. Mendota, Rocky Ford, Rend, all those types of lakes where you can actually get out there and drag baits. I'm going to be dragging the baits all day long, all year long.
And that's one of the places. If I had the opportunity this winter when it wasn't going to be just butt raping cold to go over and fish with Josh and them guys.
Wow, Lyle.
Radio edit.
I've used this before, so don't get excited.
I've never heard that one. That's a new one on me.
Oh, my goodness.
Where Josh and I fished against Brian that day.
Yeah, once we went to the spot I wanted to go and not where Parker sent us, we started catching fish.
That lake you can drag year round because it's a warm water discharge lake. You can just put your boat in there if you can stand it. If it's not so cold that it's miserable, you could go in there and drag baits year round there.
You can drag year round, and as long as it's not ice.
I agree.
You can drag baits year round.
I agree. If you can go slow enough, that's the key to
that's the key right there.
Water is you got to go you've got to go as slow as it is cold. In comparison, it's just that way.
You're not going to cover as much water, that's for sure.
No, but if you're,
I can guarantee you, speaking from experience, you can drag baits all winter long. It's all about the speed and finding the fish. You're just not going to cover much area, is the thing.
Lee is absolutely right here.
Oh yeah,
they will tear up a yellow peg float.
Yeah, orange ones too.
Let yourself don't get the bite was. Well, David, thanks for coming in. I mean, we've got the shock value out of the way there. So.
Yeah,
Doc, well, the first time I'd done that, I thought Doc Lang was going to kill me.
Oh, wow. Chad, I will tell you right now, if you stuck to your dragon baits thing, you would have a bad time at Rend. And I'm going to give up one of my tricks here. But the month of May, you would have a very bad time.
Why?
Because all those catfish are up in about 10 inches of water chasing the spawning crappie. And you have a very hard time pulling them off the flat that time of year.
But
There'll be a few. There'll be a few that are small.
You know that?
Whoa.
Can you put a planer board and drag it up there where they're at?
I think you get snagged up because you're up in they get up and they hold up in that buckbrush up there. Because that time of year they've got that lake all raised up. It'll be about 5 or 6 feet high.
That may be difficult.
And you'd be fishing stuff that's normally dry land. But
yeah, that can be difficult.
That's when it is fun. That is when you have a hard time finding shad.
I'm just saying that you can catch fish dragging baits in the dead of winter as long as the water is not frozen to where you can't get through.
You are not wrong, because I have dragged one out of Rend in February when I was messing around one time. So
we have drug creeks in the middle of January when the creeks were not frozen and water was like 33 degrees, where it's only like anywhere between 5 to 10 feet, depending on where you're at in the creek, and caught 12, 15, 50 a mile creek.
That's not
Mark. I'm going to take a pass on that, and I'm closer to that place than Lyle is.
Yeah, it's going to have ice on it, and I'm not.
I don't mess around when the water gets
guys. Mark lives like 15 minutes away from Mendota and fishes it once a freaking year. Don't act like he's going to go there and fish it. It's a joke. He's not really going to go.
Yeah. It's kind of like the running joke with Mark, where he's like, "Hey, what's your zip code down there?" And he's like, "Oh, wow, that's a long way away." And he'll Google Maps it. It's just a running joke.
Yeah.
That's right, David. I'm not going. I promise you, I'm not getting out on that ice. It's just not gonna.
Lyle, after what you said, I don't think anybody's going fishing with you in the cold ever.
That's okay. I'll just stay home.
I definitely ain't like going to go night fishing with him and he brings out the candle lights.
It's the reach around you have to watch.
Oh, wow.
James,
and Chad, you were worried about letting Dockery in here tonight.
James says if Mark goes up there, it's just because he's sick of us giving him crap about it.
Oh, wow.
Mark would rather go down and sit on the pier with all of his friends down on Navy Pier.
Oh, you know
than
what?
Drive over to Mendota and catch real fish.
I think that Navy Pier would be a cool place to go sometime.
You don't want you take a taxi or something in there. We drove to it one time, and that's probably the closest I've come.
But Mark's in a Dodge. Ain't nobody going to take that thing.
Well, that's true. We were driving a little rental car, and me and a taxi driver were getting ready to have it out. We were going to play OK Corral right there in the middle of Chicago.
Danny, it's got to be stronger than
that. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Chad fishes a drag.
Wow.
Has Stan made it in? I didn't see a comment from him.
There's Stan.
Welcome, buddy.
Mine didn't work. I thought it did. Woo.
Outdoor. While we're at this, getting close to the end of this, we have a great guest for next week coming on. You guys are going to want to tune in for that. We'll get a thumbnail made for that and get some information out on that. Gentleman from Oklahoma does really well. We're going to have him on here. And then I think if you guys want, and I think that the people in chat will enjoy it, instead of talking about channel cat in 2 weeks, what do you say we talk about blue catfish?
Deal.
And then after that, we'll talk about flatheads. And as much as I love channel cats and blue cats, flatheads are the king of catfish, in my opinion.
If you say so. I refuse to agree with you only because Mark will agree with you.
Well, you know.
There's something special about when you catch a flathead.
It is.
You can go out and you can catch a channel. You can go out and you can catch a blue, but a flathead, he has to decide he wants to grace you with his appearance.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You're not making a flathead do anything he does not want to do.
No, that's very true. And for years I thought people was lying because they said, "Oh, we're catching them on cut bait. We're catching them on cut bait." I tried and tried, never caught one on cut bait. And Cindy and I was over at Peoria, Illinois at a tournament one night, caught 7 on cut bait. And I just couldn't believe it. I ain't caught one on cut bait since.
Both of the ones
did catch them that night.
Both of the flatheads that I have caught have come off cut bait. One was suspending baits out there on the Ohio River with Caitlin in the boat. And then I caught one during the river rats about a month or so ago. I was down at Thebes and had one pick up a big old hunk of skipjack. So,
well, most of mine have come on live bait, and a high percentage of them, most all of them, in fact, have come off of hand-sized bluegill. And the flatheads, a lot of times, wasn't much bigger than the bluegill, but they get them wolfed down. They really will. So we're going to have some fun talking about that. Of course, for the situation about blue cats, for years and years, Cindy and I fished tournaments, and to win tournaments in our area, you better be catching blue cats. You'll see a big flathead come in and take a win once in a while, especially on big fish. But rarely do you catch enough of them in our area. And I know out east from us that they do catch a lot of flatheads, and they'll win tournaments out there on flatheads. But in our area, it's mostly blue cats, and they're a lot of fun. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking about that. But when it comes to flatheads, where I fish, you got to target them. You have to work to get them. They don't just happen along. And I know it's not like that everywhere, but it is around here. So we'll have a couple of great shows talking about those if you guys are okay with that.
Definitely. I think it's a good little series to just kind of talk about them.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that idea. It was a good one.
Freaking redheaded stepchild never gets freaking credit for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh in the suit and the thumbnail. Come on.
I know, and nobody talked about that except my wife and me.
But it was a great idea, Chad, and I think that it'll make for a couple of great shows. But we do have a guest for next week, so we want to make sure that we get that out there. And let's see, Austin Brown is the gentleman that I'm talking about, and Austin has a YouTube channel called Chasing Moby Dick. So if you get a chance, go check him out. Watch some of his videos. He does a lot of catching fish. He does a lot of camping. I don't know if he eats any or not. I don't believe I've ever seen him cook one, so I don't know that he does, but he may. It doesn't make any difference. He does a great job with his videos, and he catches some good fish. Not always giants, but the quality of his videos are very nice. You'll enjoy it. It's called Chasing Moby Dick, so check him out, Austin Brown, and he'll be our guest next Monday night. So, have we got any more channel cat stuff to talk about? What stepchild?
I just thought, like I said, thinking about it, and I know, like I said, Cody and them were talking about it today, and I've seen a couple other talking about just like that. The same thing they gave me the idea to even bring it up to you guys is, I think channel cats are an underrated fish, and they're overlooked by a lot because of the size.
I'll tell you some of the reason I believe, Chad. In the state of Missouri, catfish are a game fish. If they was a game fish in every state, it would make a huge difference.
That's a good point.
Yep, Illinois went the other way. Illinois made them where you could
Hell,
both
dude.
fish for them.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand that. When that happened, I tried to get that lady that's over top of your fishery department to come on here, and she agreed to it once, and then she never would answer my emails. I think she knew what was in store for her because I was going to light her up. And
that was a very poor decision today. The same year that they made it where you could bow fish for them, they put a minimum length on them. So
yeah, I don't understand that.
On one hand, they've got to be 13 inches to keep them, but go ahead and shoot them with an arrow. So
yeah,
I think one more closing thing about that is, we talk about bluegill fishing, getting kids into fishing and stuff like that is a great thing. But channel cats, especially those 1 to 3 pound channel cats.
Oh yeah,
they will love it if they can pair into a method.
They'll keep your kids busy. I mean, Caitlin's been out dragging before where 2 or 3 rods is all we can keep in the water because they're hitting as soon as we get them out there.
Them some fine days and memories are to be made one day.
And she's had a blast. So
yeah,
they did win Caitlin's age group in the kids fishing tournament to Sam.
They did win Caitlin's age group in Muskrat Adventures kids tournament, and
Ghost of the Woods, mostly just jealousy.
And Caitlin even got Bob's attention when she broke 10-pound mark with that channel cat during that tournament because Bob pulled his boat out of the water, went to the other side of the dam, and started bumping. So
very, very true.
He has.
There's Kenneth with Take Down Catfish. I didn't see
KP.
Kenneth.
Hey, buddy.
Come in here, buddy.
He's been listening.
He has. 90% of the flatheads that he's caught's been on cut baiting in the daytime. Well, I can't say that about the cut bait, but most of mine have been caught in the daytime.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't say most of them. About 50%.
I like that, Mid-South. It says in Tennessee, channel cats are one of the 4 food groups.
That's right.
But there's so many of them down there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them.
And
there's a lot of blues down there too.
Sam makes a good point there too. And you talk about channel cats. If you look at channel cats across the U.S., that gives you more opportunity than probably any other species of catfish in the U.S. to be able to catch as well.
Yeah. Mid-South, I have to tell you that Memphis, Tennessee area is one of my favorite places to catch fish, period. It's in the top 3. Really is. That's a special place. You can catch a lot of fish. You can catch a lot of eating-sized fish. You can catch medium-sized fish. You can catch giant, and you can catch all 3 species. It's definitely one of my favorite places to fish.
Danny brings up a good point here.
First time for everything, Danny.
I know Danny's been in rare form tonight, or usual form, however you want to put it. But he's right. Channel cats could be commercially farmed.
And are.
And they are. And there used to be a place around here where you could go and pay and you would catch however many channel cats you wanted to catch. And then they would clean those fish for you. And you take them home to eat them. Something like that, where it's a sustainable resource. You're still having fun. I mean, you're going out catching the fish. They're cleaning them for you. They're not robbing public waterways. And I think that's where people sometimes are like, oh, well, what's wrong with the pay lake? Well, there's different kinds here. If a guy went and fished that right now, he posted pictures online, they'd roast him.
Yeah.
Something like that, I don't take issue with.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them taking commercially raised fish and putting them in lakes and letting people catch them and take them home and eat them. I have 0 problems with that. They're buying those fish from an individual that raised them. They're not taking them out of public water away from us. And I don't have any problem with people catching fish to eat, especially now in the hard times that we're looking forward to in the next year or two. Not to get off, Chad. I'm not going to get off on a.
You're doing fine. You're holding on. So you're doing fine.
But I look for things to get a little tougher. So if you want to keep a few fish now, I am a firm believer in selective harvest. And if you catch a big catfish and it's bleeding bad, you can't stop it if it's hooked deep. Do not throw that thing back and let it die and go to waste. Harvest that fish. I mean, as bad as it is to take big breeders out of the thing, it's better to eat it than let it die and just go to waste and make turtle bait out of it. But for the most part, you don't have that problem with big catfish and circle hooks and all the equipment that we have today. So you can take those fish and release them and keep some of the smaller ones. They are by far better table fare anyway. And in Missouri, they raised the limit so you can keep 10 unders on blue cats, 10 unders instead of 5 of flathead and
wow.
So let's do that. And I think that the population, like I say, these states can all get together and come up with a unified set of rules for everybody. They just got their head up their butt and they won't do it. There's no reason why they can't all get together and every state have the same rules.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all the tournaments could have the same rules. Said that for years, but they just no comprende.
I don't know. Josh and I come up with some pretty cool rules, like no Baldwin. That's an awesome rule.
I'm not going to get into that.
You and your 5
Oh man,
pound.
Stan's agreeing with everybody now.
I know it's just been a wild night.
It has. But don't forget, guys, we're not dragging on for any particular reason other than conversation and to make some points. Mark with Catfish and Crappie is not going to be live tonight. So,
what a great Monday night!
Oh my God, you're asking for it.
He drooled on his computer.
Ghost of the Woods, Baldwin Lake is in Illinois. It's a power plant lake, and it is full of little blue cats.
Yeah,
Tell them about it, Josh.
It's full. Baldwin Lake. It's over. It borders Randolph and St. Clair counties, and it's a little ways west of Sparta there. But it is full of 3 to 5 pound blue cats.
Oh, come on!
It is full of 3 to 5 pound blue cats.
It is full of 1 to 3 pound fish.
There's a bunch of those in there too.
Yeah,
and there is plenty of 4.9.
There's a bunch of 4.99 that I'm going to dial my little scale up just a little bit and change the calibration of.
Just weigh them like Jerry Parker. You're either putting them on your lap so you get them lower, or you're holding them by the tail as you're holding the scale up.
I kept waiting to see him weighing fish yesterday. I was waiting for you to call him on something. So,
well, he had a rough day yesterday too, so I wasn't going to harp on it too bad.
Me and Lyle had the same idea.
Well, you see, what happened was Mark takes a lot of naps at his computer, and he drooled all over the place. And that's all the only thing I can say that on this channel of what happened to Mark's computer and wetness.
Wow.
There was more to that story the first time I heard it.
There was, but we're not going into that on this.
We tried to keep stuff clean tonight, and for the most part, Chad and I have, but
exactly this guy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Every time I'm live, I'm waiting for the day that I screw up and say something because, it's going to happen.
It is, it does happen, and but that's okay. We've had a great show tonight.
Town Chrissy Brown. I don't know if we said hi to you tonight, but a little beer.
What did he say?
He was saying hi to Chrissy.
Oh, Uptown Chrissy Brown. Welcome. Always great to have you in here. I assume Ernie's probably in bed.
Ooh. Muscle cramp in the thigh. Okay, all right.
Oh, but yeah, Mid-South, I think we'll.
Yes, no doubt. They're Creole.
We this would have been a good show to talk Lee Reed into coming on. He knows a lot about.
We need to get Lee on. We need to get Lee on here.
We need to have.
Well, Lee has been busy tonight. He was driving. I did try. He was driving and listening. He missed part of it. He mentioned in chat just a few minutes ago that he had to go back and rewatch because he missed some parts of it. Because he loves the channel rats.
He does love them. They're a lot of fun to catch. Like I say, I'm never going to be happy until I tip over. I'm at 29.9.
I'm at 22 something. I can't remember.
So until I tip that 30-pound mark, I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm very satisfied with the blues and the flatheads over the years that we've caught. But there's something about a 30-pound channel cat that I just got to have one, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great goal to have. I never thought in my life I'd have a 20-pound plus channel cat.
Most people don't.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't, you know, and for a long time, 12-pound was the biggest I ever caught. And if we hadn't made if we had,
mine was like 12 pounds, 4 ounces or something like that. And I thought it was a monster.
One day on a minnow and wrapped around a stump. I never got it out. And I was so proud of that thing. It was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Caught it on Stockton Lake. Cindy and I was over there fishing out of a duck boat one day. And I never anticipated catching a channel cat bigger than that until we went to Mendota, and it's easier to catch a 20-pounder up there that year than it was.
It is, yeah.
So Cindy caught 4 over 20 pounds in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say catching them under 10 pounds up there is.
I don't think we caught one this year under 10. Yeah,
we did.
Way less than half your fish.
This was the first year that we caught a lot of them under 10. It really was.
Yeah,
but
we had
the ones we was catching, you know where we was sitting, and they was coming in up there from the big lake, and we was catching them as they come in. And that's, I wasn't going to change anything because the numbers we was catching was so great. Just catching them one right after the other. Why change that? But we didn't catch the big ones like we usually did.
Huh. Blue says, I definitely drop Grand Forks off your top 5 list and add Calamus
was one I know about, but I couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah, Calamus would be on there. But Grand Forks is not so much on there as going up into Canada and getting below the Lockport Dam. That's where that would be. That's a bucket list place for me. And I don't expect to go up there and catch a bunch of them bigger than what we catch up there on Mendota. You're just going to catch a lot of big fish. Mm-hmm. Like I say, I know guys that go up there for 3 days, catch 4,000 or more pounds of fish in 3 days. That's a lot of fish.
Part of it's about the memory, too. You know, just like when we take that trip without Mark and the other 2 stooges down to South America to fish for red-tailed catfish.
Yeah.
Red tails in Brazil would be the highlight of my life if I ever got to do that. That would be cool. And the way they do that, in case nobody knows, is you stay on a houseboat and they take you out in little boats and you fish all day and you come back and they feed you and you sleep on this houseboat and you go out for 5 days like that.
That would be cool.
I'm telling you.
That would be real cool.
It would be. The only thing that worries me is you fall in, you got all them gators and
hell, the gators are all the daggone piranhas.
Piranhas, that's all they got. It all, man.
Big old anacondas down there.
My big old buff's got a fighting chance against a gator. 1,000 piranhas eating on me. I don't have a chance at all.
They're just that's a different world down there, and I understand the mosquitoes are big enough that they can just carry you away, even you, Chad. I mean,
wow, I think that was a dig.
I understand they're pretty healthy. But you know what? To get to do that, I'd take my chances. But Chad and I are planning that. We're going to do it one of these days.
I still want a Wells. I want a Wells catfish.
I would love to go catch a Wells too, but since I was a teenager, red-tailed catfish has been on my list.
Yeah, mine too. Since the first picture of one I seen. You know,
mine was watching just fishing videos on TV years and years ago. They go down there and catch them and then peacock bass. You see guys,
Yep.
you see guys throw the lures, and the peacock bass would hit them rods so hard it would snap them.
Yep.
That's one of my
Brian B has made it into chat.
Oh, glad he could wake up from his pizza coma.
And Catfish Regulators, Aaron, welcome.
Brian B figured out that Catfish Weekly isn't on TikTok, so sorry, Brian.
Oh.
Whoa.
That would be another neat one.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be really wild.
I would say that they're not quite at the top of my list, but they would be on the list.
Yeah,
I tell you what, after watching old boy catch conger eels last night on YouTube, that became one of my bucket list fish. I got to catch one of these things.
I need to go back and watch that. Like I said, I thought I subbed to him. I subbed to him this evening. I'm going to go back and watch a little bit of that last night.
He caught some nice eels. He said they've got some. Oh, let's see.
Are they meaner than moray eels?
I don't know if they're meaner, but he said they've got a really strong bite force on them. He said if they get your finger, they're taking it. So.
Wow.
You are nuts. Want to noodle a goonch catfish?
No,
man,
you ain't coming back with your hand up to that one.
Probably not. No.
I had to look those up. I've never seen one of those.
Regulators. That's one that I wonder how you would get to it other than the pay lakes that they have over there. Is the Mekong catfish? That's one of the biggest fish I've ever seen in my life. Is that record that they saw? They had a picture of it all over the internet years and years ago. The thing was out on tarps, not tarps. Tarps.
Oh, okay. I've seen that one.
That fish was huge. I just don't know the wild, how they do over there as far as charters and stuff like that. If you could actually fish for them. What's his name? Used to come in Patriot show all the channel, and he used to come in here too.
Dexter Ting.
Dexter
fishes for them.
Yeah, he fishes for them.
Wow.
But they actually have lakes there that they can fish with it.
Yeah. They've actually, I've watched some of Dexter's videos that he had, and not him, but other people that's fishing around him, they actually pulled him in the water.
Yeah.
So
they're huge.
Crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, their Menkongs are gigantic. It's huge. I like to watch that kind of stuff, but I don't know. There's something about a red tail.
There is.
They'd be fun.
Yeah,
they'd be.
They're a beautiful, beautiful fish. For one,
yeah, they are,
and they are decent sized fish.
I couldn't eat. Big ones are over 100 pounds. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much over, but I know they get over 100. But they don't have to be that big to satisfy me.
Yeah, I don't care. I just want to catch them.
That's right. That's right. Mark's got a list there for you, Chad. Lynn cod, giant trevallies, Xander. Xander would be cool. Of course, Lynn cod, they're so good to eat. Red tail.
Wells is back on there a second time.
My.
Goliath grouper. I know that people say they're not going to catch them. I would love to catch one. Just one. That's all I want to catch.
I don't think my shoulders would let me do that anymore.
They got rod holders. You just crank, buddy. You just crank. We'll
fun. I want to hold.
We'll swing over on the boat, catch a couple Goliath, take that boat straight down to the Amazon. Do a little fishing.
We could do that. Yeah.
We'll make our own cruise.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, Lynn cod would be good. But if I caught one of those, I'm going to eat it. I like cod. That's good fish to eat. One of my favorite, if I go out someplace and buy fish, cod is one of the best ones, in my opinion, and whitefish. I like them both real well. But, yeah, a giant trevally would be a lot of fun, too. But I don't know. I don't have a desire for shark fishing. I don't know why.
That's another one. I want to catch a shark. So
Yeah, I don't have a desire to catch one. Not that I wouldn't catch it if it got on there. I wouldn't say here's to somebody reel this in. I'd reel it in.
My top bucket list fish though is a tarpon.
Really?
That'd be fun too. Yeah.
I want to catch a tarpon. My grandpa and I talked about it for years and years and years. We always watched the fishing shows where they were catching them.
Yep.
Kept saying we were going to do it, never did. Now we're not going to have that chance, but I want to get down. That's on my bucket list, go catch a tarpon. And that was kind of the plan for this year. It didn't work out, so maybe next year. But
yeah, it's hard to say. You just got to put your mind to it and make it happen. I mean, it's kind of the way it is. But I think they would be a lot of fun to catch too. Again, the thing about them that would concern me is the sharks getting them before you got it reeled up. That would be a heartbreaker.
And Mark just nailed it. Mark said tarpon on a fly rod. Yep, that would be the way to do it.
Well, now that would be something right there. Yeah.
Hello there, Avid. So Avid.
Hey, Avid.
I don't know. I've never been super into the offshore fishing, but at the same time, I'll sit and watch it for an hour. Just I think about it'd be kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, that's another one where I would want to go with somebody.
But I got excited with those Gale Force twins, but I haven't decided if I'm going to go out there with them yet or not.
Gale Force twins. Well, I guess I don't got it.
Never mind.
All right.
Mark will know who I'm talking about.
He's talking about saltwater drum. Must be talking about red tails.
Those little redfish.
Redfish.
How did we get into freaking saltwater fishing on Channel Cat Show?
We got to talking about bucket list fish. And I will tell you this, if I catch a tarpon, I'm going to get in the water and take a picture of that thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to post and say, look at the skipjack I just caught. The next day, there'll be 500 people stacked up behind Kentucky Dam because that's where I'm going to say I caught that thing.
Well, Creo knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
I don't guess I've seen that one.
Lyle, after the show, YouTube, search Gale Force Twins.
Okay.
Mom, just so you know that he will not be coming to bed tonight. He'll be watching Gale Force Twins all night long.
I'm pretty well convinced that neither Lyle nor Mark ever sleep. So
no,
not much.
Well, Mark does at his desk, and that's why he's having computer problems. He's drooling all over the place and shorting out the wires.
Here we go. We're going to get that story up before the night's over.
No, unlike you two, I have reserves when I want to.
I used to have, but I'm losing it as time goes along.
I am not going to even go down the topic of ball deep tackle shopping that he does.
Oh, that's coming up for the Black Friday.
We do have that in 2 weeks.
I was getting ready to say, let's talk about that a little bit before we leave, Chad.
Yeah, I'm going to start reaching out, like I always do, to every manufacturer out there that I can think of and find. And then none of them will probably answer me back, so I'll probably end up getting their sales off of their websites and stuff like that, and I'll come up with a list like we do. We've done the last couple of years, and then we will have the Black Friday show coming up Thanksgiving night.
Will it be Thanksgiving night? Okay.
It'll be Thanksgiving night this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will be giving out every deal that we can find. Last year, I think we had, 20, 30, 40 different companies that we found, and the year before that was probably similar to that. There are one or two that are marked off my list that will never show back up on my channel. And there's one or two people that are no longer allowed to share anything on my channel.
Never say never.
No, we do. We try to find out every fishing deal we can for you guys, whether it be rods and reels, and tackle, clothing, all your kind of accessories. Anything we can find, we will try to find the codes and what they're having for you guys to be able to go out and make a few purchases. Whatever we can do to help Mark buy more stuff, we're going to do it.
Oh yeah.
Right. And speaking of that, before the show started, before you come in tonight, I told Josh about the sale Academy Sports has going on. They got tons and tons of stuff on a 3-day online sale. So
really?
Yeah.
Up to 50% off.
Yeah. Fishing stuff was around 30%.
Yep.
Really?
Boat stuff. They got a big sale going on. It's been advertised on Facebook today. I still have an open tab with it on my computer right now. Mark can't do it. It's a shame because we could help him buy some stuff tonight.
Yeah. Mark just needs to send us his card number and just let us.
I'd help him out with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Help him out with that.
Not bad idea.
If it's only a 3-day sale, so you only got 2 days.
3-day. Yep. 3-day deal up to 50% off, ends Wednesday.
Yep. So if you're interested in anything, if you need something, they got all kinds of stuff for kids and clothes and this and that. So it might be a good place to get you some early Christmas shopping in.
Oh, Creole said the Black Friday sale for Triple City Anglers starts on Thursday.
That's kind of before Black Friday, ain't it?
Yeah, but you might as well.
Hey, if it gets in more sales and it gets people more product that they want, I mean, they already got Christmas stuff in the friggin' stores around here.
Oh, they had Christmas stuff out at Halloween.
Yeah.
One thing that does happen with a lot of these companies, though, too, is they'll do like a week's worth of different stuff. Right? They'll say, 25% off and stuff like that for the majority of the week, and then sometimes they'll do like flash sales and one day only, like for the actual Black Friday, they'll do something different. So it's always good to keep your eye out, but they might, like I said, they might do 25 to 40% off, and then they might do between these hours on Friday, they might only do 50 to 75% off, something like that, something crazy.
I had to go pick up medicine at Walmart the other day, and Cindy had told me about this, but I just never thought any more about it. I get to Walmart, I walk down the aisle going to the pharmacy, going a long way. I had to make another pit stop. 65-inch TV, $198.
Wow.
65-inch.
And you did not come home with one. Why?
You know what? We really don't need one, but it's very tempting.
I would have came home with that one.
I think I'd have come home with that.
Hell, they had a 75-inch over at Walmart the other day for $448. I just
they
didn't
had
have
that
money.
one here too.
Wow, you could have made a computer monitor out of that thing, if nothing else.
We've got a 55.
55 is too small. At our age, we need bigger TVs so we can see.
It covers the whole freaking wall.
Hey, the more TV you have on a wall, the less you have to worry about decorating it with other crap.
You know?
And if you turn on YouTube on that, on a 65-inch TV, Dockery would be twice his normal size.
Well, oh my gosh, he'd be almost 5 foot, 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Then he really would need an elf's outfit. Though, there was a time when they first started coming out with these, when we bought that one that's in my room now, and it's a 46, I believe, I think. I thought stock car racing could not be any better when we bought that.
Oh, yeah.
So we got that 55, and then I ended up with that one, and because I had a 32, and I ended up with that. Cindy put the big one in there. And now a 65, 10 inches bigger is a lot. But man, if Davey Allison was still racing, I might be interested in that.
Well, we know he's still watching.
Who's Davey Allison? He's been
Dockery.
Oh, Dockery. What did he do?
Oh, I got a nice message.
Oh, did you? Well, it's got to be one of us. Here's an example, just to let you guys know. LEM 10 tray dehydrator, $199 at Academy. At
through Wednesday.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, they had what was it we found earlier? They had a 9-inch Garmin Striker with side imaging for $5.99, I think.
That's pretty reasonable.
Which one was it?
It was the Striker 9 SV. So Strikers are usually, if you in the Garmin world, Strikers are usually a little bit lacking in the GPS side.
Isn't that one basically an ice fishing?
No, they do it like the old Garmin E-Trek handheld GPSs. It's just a white screen. You can see where you're at, and it shows a trail where you've been. So,
still a bargain.
David Smith says 86-inch TV 4K at Costco's for $9.99.
Wow.
Hey, we need to check and see if our Costco card's still good. Mark, we're gonna need your credit card number.
Yeah, no kidding.
Roger says Garmin 106 side view at $9.99 at Bass Pro. Yeah, that's
a good deal.
They put all this kind of stuff on sale at Christmas time because they know none of us are brave enough to buy that kind of stuff at Christmas time.
That's exactly right. But there's going to be a lot of.
If I didn't have other things to buy, I would be.
And that's
I don't need attendance.
You don't have to. Deal get that stuff for you. All you got to do is whine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to whine.
No, she just goes and gets it.
All I got to say is, hey, babe, walk out here to the boat and look at this. I said, we got this here, but wouldn't another one look good right there? She's like, you know what? You're right. Then I wouldn't have to turn.
Yeah. The next purchase, Dee's going to buy Live Scope so that she can watch the rod go all the way to the bottom whenever Chad throws it out of the boat.
Oh, man. That's brutal. That is brutal.
He deserved that.
That's not me.
And now he's back because she's in the other room saying, I might do that just so we have that.
Oh, I couldn't resist that one.
I can relate. What do you got going on the bait shop Thursday night, Chad?
I don't know. I already fired my co-host, so.
Oh, yeah.
Tired of him. I fired a potential, and he didn't even know he was a potential, and Danny Stone. I don't know. We might start looking for deals this week, but just so we can get people prepared. But we'll be full force on it next week. So
you will.
Really don't know. We've got. I'm trying to think what we got. We got the Battle of the River second round this week coming up, Tennessee versus James, and then I'll be leading the Ohio the following weekend. So we may talk just a little bit about all that kind of stuff.
You'll be doing what, did you say?
I'll be leading the Ohio River into victory against the Cooper because I caught one fish last week. I'm pretty positive now that
there we go.
Who is in the Cooper group?
Let's see. The Cooper River is Freddie, Palmetto, KMB Anglers, and I believe Jimmy Smith. And then Ohio is myself and D, Jade Puppy, a.k.a. Team Dog Pound. And then we have Bumpin' Mike Greenwell and the Musketeers.
It's a real easy win for you, Chad. You just put in the rules and are not allowed to use chicken. The rest of them probably can't.
Oh, wait, there's our supposed team captain, Muskrat. Even though I was leading the way. Hey, I caught one fish this weekend. Like I said, I'm pretty stoked because I did catch it on the Licking River, not the Ohio.
And who's on the Ohio team?
Me, our D and I, and then J Dog, Bumpin' Mike Greenwell, and then the Musketeers.
What was that? The last one?
The Musketeers, or the AKA the River Princesses.
Well, that's what I'm used to hearing.
Sometimes they're the River Queens. They're dancing queens.
Oh wow!
Anyway,
Creole, you know what to do.
I gotta stop. They get their feelings hurt too much.
Mark and I will be after you Thursday night with Panfish Nation, so he'll have his computer fixed by then, and he'll be back online, and And once we get done laughing at you, then we'll do a serious show.
Good. Well, I just hope he gets it fixed and they clear out that web browser history that caused all these problems.
What do you think's on there?
Do what?
What do you think's on there?
You never know.
I heard he likes to watch a lot of reruns.
Oh, man.
And with that,
well, don't forget, we have a great guest with Austin Brown next week. You want to stop in and watch Catfish Weekly, and Mark will be back with the Catfish and Crappie podcast right after us next Monday night. We're so glad that everybody stayed in here. We still got 55 people tonight, so
that's pretty good.
It is. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. We appreciate it, and be sure to tune in next Monday night. We're going to have Austin on here. We're going to have a great show, and then after that, we'll go back and do the Blue Cat and Flathead shows. And
it's going to be a good show next week.
I think so too. He got to catch a lot of fish, and he's a really nice guy. So I think that'll work. Josh and Chad, thank you guys so much. You made it a great show, even though Chad corrects me, tells me I'm doing things wrong, reels me in.
Somebody has to.
What a great son. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week, y'all.